Welcome to the Levrige Show. This is Brett Ingram, and today I want to share with you the best traffic strategy for your website and anything else that you're doing online. Now, there's a lot of confusion and there's a lot of concern over the idea of generating traffic for your website because, let's face it, if you're doing anything online, whether you have an e-commerce store set up online, whether you have some sort of a website, you're doing training, whatever, videos, the bottom line is if you have anything online, it's only going to be as good and as effective as the amount of traffic that you have. If no one is there to see it, it really makes no difference at all. Think of it if you set up a retail store, no matter how great that retail store is, no matter how good your products are, no matter how great your prices are, no matter how great your customer service is, if there are no customers walking through the door, you're not going to make a single dime. And that's basically the problem. Now, with the internet, years ago, the old idea was, geez, if you had a nice professional website or you had something online that you were trying to do, then great, because something is better than nothing. And there was so little competition. A lot of the big brands and big companies were sort of sat back a little bit before they jumped into the e-commerce game. And so there was a very short window at the beginning when you could get in there and not really have much quality or content, and you could still have an effective website. Those days are long gone. We've evolved to a point now where it's as competitive as anything else. And so the idea is, how do we develop traffic? How do we get traffic? Now, there's a positive and a negative to the evolution of what's been going on the internet. And the positive is that there are now a tremendous number of ways to generate traffic. So there's no lack of methods. The negative is that because they're so competitive and because there are so many different ways to do it, it can be really difficult to know what sort of traffic strategy you should use. Well, I want to break that down for you. I want to simplify that for you and share with you really the best traffic strategy. Now, it's not one particular tool. There isn't one particular traffic method that's going to work better than others because it's going to depend on your specific business. This is what I can tell you. The first thing that you need to do to decide what kind of traffic you should use is to analyze the industry a little bit that you're in. Take a look at where are your target customers? Where do they hang out? Are they social media type people? Do they respond very well to advertisements? Are they business to business? Are they consumers? Are they adults? What demographics make up your target market and your customers? Once you have an idea of who your target customer is, the next step is to identify where they hang out online. Now, again, there may be Facebook groups that exist with your particular target market in there. Great. You have very easy access to them. Or they may be people that don't spend a lot of time on, typical websites doing anything socially or whatever. That part you're going to need to determine based on the demographics of your market. Now, assuming you know that, and if you don't, you can do research. You can get online research for just about any industry, and you can find out what the typical demographics are. But here's where you could go beyond that. Then you could go on Facebook, you can go on these other social networks, you could go on the various advertising platforms like Google AdWords, like Facebook ads, the Twitter ads, and any other types of publications. They will give you the demographics of their audience. And so if it's a gigantic market or a gigantic tool like Facebook, they have tons of different markets, but you can pick and choose what you want to target when you're creating advertisements. Now, if it's a specific publication, they're going to tell you, if you want to advertise on Inc.com, they're going to tell you what their target market is. They're going to tell you their prices, and they're going to give you all of those ideas so you can see if it's a good match. Now, I'm not suggesting that you need to use paid advertising. I'm just trying to explain the idea of how you analyze and identify where you even want to play from an advertising and marketing standpoint. You may be able to join free Facebook groups and get in there, and you never need to spend a dime on advertising. Now, here's the next step. So once you've identified it, then the next thing that you want to do is you want to decide, are you going to use a paid campaign or are you going to use a free campaign? If you're using social media, a lot of times you can start with a totally free campaign. It may even be better than it is to actually buy ads. If you're going to go the free route, what you want to do is set up profiles in whatever it is that you're going to be using, and then you want to start to connect with people that are in your industry there. You don't start pitching them and promoting stuff right off the bat. You just start connecting with other people, looking at what they're posting and reacting and engaging to those posts. Then you can start making your own posts, and you're going to build up your social media profiles and presence that way. Now, if you're going the paid route, what you want to do is you want to look at other people that are running ads. Now, there's a great tool that you can use. It is a paid tool, but if you are really want to spend some money on your budget and you want to make sure you're advertising in the right places, use whatrunswhere.com. It's an awesome service that allows you to see exactly what advertisers are advertising on which mediums. So it allows you to get in there. Now, if you're going to go the paid ad route, you could advertise on blogs, you can advertise on other websites. There are media buys that you can do through services that will place your ad on all the right places online. You choose the demographics and they will do the ad placements for you. You can just do Google searches and you can find this stuff. So it's all very simple. But here is really the core of the strategy, and here's what I really want to get to. So the basic idea is you're going to do some research, you're going to understand your customer. You're going to do some research, you're going to understand the platform that you're trying to promote and advertise on. So whether it's free or paid, you need to understand what that platform does, what works and what doesn't on that platform, who plays there to make sure that it is your target market, and what the rules of the game are. Once you know all of that stuff, you start crafting your strategy, whether it's a free content strategy, whether it's paid display advertising, whatever it is, you're going to start to craft that strategy. But here's the key, and this is where the rubber really meets the road. You need to choose that strategy. You've done the work up front to choose the right strategy. Now, you want to stick with that strategy and see it through until you make it work. This is where a lot of people fall. They do a lot of the steps right. They've identified that their market is where they are trying to advertise. They've done a little bit of research. They see what their competitors are doing. So they create an ad or two, or they create a social profile, and they do a little bit, and when they don't get instant results, they pull the plug. That is the mistake. What you need to do is stick with it. What you need to understand is that most of the advertisers that are there, or most of the other companies that are promoting their products and services there, probably had a lot of mistakes and failure too. But they've stuck with it and they've optimized it, and now they've gotten to a point where it's really working. You need to look at it from that same perspective. You need to spend the time to make sure that you don't just try it once and when it doesn't work, kill it. You need to continue to optimize it, work with it, and work it until you've found what is going to make you money. Now, there are a lot of different approaches that you can take. You could piggyback off what competitors are doing and try to duplicate their strategy. That may or may not work. You could look at what they're doing and identify the holes in their strategy and try to do it. Or you can come up with a completely new and unique approach. There is no right or wrong. The key is that once you start it in motion, that you keep consistently with it, and that you keep doing it, and that you monitor your results. And if the results are getting you closer to where you want to go, you keep doing them. If your results are not getting you what you want, then you change your approach, and you keep dialing it in until you get to a point where you've made it work. Then you can go on to other strategies. The mistake that a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs make is they do a lot of the steps right, but then when it doesn't get results right away, they pull the plug and they go on to something else. You know what? Facebook didn't work. I'm going to go to Twitter. You know what, Twitter didn't work, I'm going to start buying ads. You know what, buying ads didn't work, I'm going to start doing, media buys. I'm going to start advertising on blogs. I'm going to start buying solo ads. You're never going to be successful with any kind of online promotion and advertising campaign if you keep jumping from one thing to the next. The only way to be successful is to try something, make sure you've done the homework up front so you've identified it's the right place to be, and then work it until you get a method that's working for you. Then you can start to add other pillars to your marketing strategy. You can start making a deeper funnel. You can start adding front-end things that you're giving away for free to get people into your funnel. You can start adding, a sequence of things that get people to go from prospect to buyer. You can start adding higher ticket products on the back end to upsell people that are in your funnel. But the idea is to build out a full strategy where your marketing strategy generates leads, and then you have a method to transfer those leads and convert them into buyers and customers. Then you have a system to retain those customers. So you need lead generation, you need lead conversion, and then you need customer retention. And for the traffic and advertising method, the most important thing is lead generation, and you need to work on that until you optimize it. And then you can work on the other two pillars of it, and you can start to add more and more lead generation avenues onto your existing business. But that is how you build an effective traffic and advertising strategy online. As always, if you have any questions or comments, share them with me at levrigeshow.com or tweet them at #levrigeshow. And until next time, make it happen.